Hello again in the another movie dedicated to the Nebula development. In this movie, very quickly I would like to highlight the recent changes that I made to the game. So the demo is already on Steam. I have not long ago uploaded patch 0.4.1 and in this patch there are a few improvements, not the big one, but they were requested by the players as well, so I decided to put them in as soon as possible. So first one, and probably the most important, is graphic options. So right now there is a possibility to go from the full screen to windowed version and change resolution to some very commonly used resolutions. So for the moment I put just 4. So that's the first change. The sound options remain as this. You can do it from the main menu and also from the gain menu, from the pause menu in the game. And then another window that I have decided to add on is the window that is explaining the power-ups in the game, power-ups and buffs. So I have placed them in one panel, explaining each one of them on what they are doing and what is the progression steps for those. So for example, like for the damage, there are 3 levels, and then the level is 20, 25 and 30%. The same for magnet and so on and so on. So every single one is right now explained with a little bit of extra information if necessary. Like for example, the penetration, I decided that it's maybe important to inform the players that some of the projectiles, they are not really affected by this, like space mines, lasers, obviously those which are anyway piercing the enemies. And then this one, for example, is stacking with the all guns types turrets piercing bonuses, which because all of the guns, they have already piercing bonus at the start. So that's the second improvement that I made. There are some other bug fixes that I did recently, and they were discovered by the players. I have been thinking also for quite a while how to maybe modify a little bit the characteristics of the power-ups, so that players maybe will decide to use some other configurations of the power-ups, because I noticed that there are some that are very often used, like for example the projectiles or reload or damage. So I decided that I will change the characteristics of few of the power-ups, like for example speed up. I have add additional speed to this power-up, so it's now 20 and 20%. Altogether 40% up to the speed. Is making a big change in the game for the player. The same goes for explosions. So initially there was only 4% and 4%, so 8% chance to explode enemy on death, but now it's 30% altogether, and 10% for the steal health, for stealing health. So I mean 10% chance that you can on every hit, so it's actually quite often, not on every kill but on every hit, that it's the player might steal small portion of the health. I changed the name of this, by the way, of this power up, because previously it was energy steal, but it was not intuitive, so I just changed it to the steal health. And that's pretty much all for this part. I have some ideas for another perks and power-ups, so I will update this panel as soon as I will implement them into the game. I'm not sure if I do it for if I will do it for demo version, but for the full version for sure. I have a couple of ideas, so there will be more power-ups for sure. Then in the game there were a couple of bugs reported by the players. There was a short lag after level up, so that's already fixed, and the slags is removed. I have added also few of the new visual effects, especially when the player is attacking the more advanced enemies. So I add kind of smoke and sparks mechanics to the enemies that are shooting projectiles, so they are the biggest enemies in the game. And now when the enemies gonna get some damage, they will slowly start to smoke and put the sparks. So at some point, just to indicate that the enemy is not like a bullet sponge, it's they are really losing health, and it might help actually the players to determine whether they are close to death or not. So that's most of the changes that I made in this patch. Now I'm slowly moving towards the finalizing the last two maps, the graphic for last two maps, and all of the models for the enemies for the last two maps. And hopefully I will be up to date to release the game in sometimes during the December, hopefully before the Christmas. So keep your fingers crossed, have fun with the demo, and see you soon. Ciao.